Just wanted to, this day before version 4 patch, running PS4 version 4.01 pre-patch version. It's actually 3.99.1 on other platforms. Just wanted to go through my list of bases just to make sure they're all working properly before the patch, and make a record of it for in case the patch screws something up. Then I'll have evidence maybe of what the future bug is, just to see what the patch changes, what it improves, what it screws up. I thought it was a good idea anyway. So I've got, I don't know how many bases to go through, and I thought I'd make a record of it and maybe chat with people that drop by also. So first of all, head up to my freighter.
Extreme toxicity detected.
And see. Well, I'm gonna want to switch ships here. I don't want to use my living ship for this. I figured I'd use my crafting hauler. That's the new hauler with all the big box wings, because then I can make sure it's properly stocked. Oh geez, I have to call it in, don't I? I've been on a toxic planet. I've got toxin stains around the edge of the... There, it's... They're fading slowly. There's my hauler. This guy should have some missions for us soon. Not yet. Okay, make a fresh save. And I'll just head for my first base, my oldest base, first of all. Named after the farm I grew up in, actually. Rock Ridge Farms. It's not really a farm base, although it does have some greenhouse domes and such things. Previous patches have screwed stuff up at the bases, like the electrical power supplies, and you know, the mining and collection networks. Some of them are relatively complex on some of these old bases, especially. So we got some farming domes here. Dong. here. And a few here. Vaults. A couple more rooms. So this all seems fine. Growing well. There's the landing pad. Now, where's the the mining project for cadmium. That's good.
No free slots in suit inventory.
Freighter. Okay, that's where that was. So this base seems to be doing fine. Little Blobby in his room with his trophies and his posters or decals. Okay, so Starball Beach. Next, the name says it all. Growing some star bulbs. So, 7.5 minutes in and no viewers yet. Oh well. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock my time. I'm in the mountain time zone. So, star bulbs grow wild here. And you can plant them outside. I won't harvest all of these. I've got a lot planted outside here. There's a couple long rows of them there even. There's oops. Oh boy, driving us way off. A couple domes indoor here. Much easier to harvest. And find there's the vaults. There's the teleporter. Next base. Rocky Roads Graveyard. This is a pretty useless base. I thought that a planet to collect bones on was a good idea at the time. I might just get rid of this base eventually. Reclaim the park count. It's not a terribly resource heavy base or anything. So as you see, it's got a couple of rooms, so, usual vaults, usual landing pads. Oh, it's got a minor trade. Excuse me. Minor trade terminal. Minor rifle. And a little used landing pad. Been a while since I've been here, so all the stuff is so yeah, that's what it looks like. That hauler fits right in, doesn't it? With the vaults. Okay. So here's a more significant base, a mining base with two products. Gonna be a lot of this in this video. A lot of teleporting. So it's yeah, I got a rather nice waiting room here. Actually worked on some aesthetics for this space. And here's the magnetized ferrite, 8,000, and sulfurine. That's the main reason I come here, is for the sulfurine usually. And the vaults are in here. Back door. The ground kind of tends to fill it in, but I can still walk through there anyway, so I don't have to clean it out. So that was sand and water, iron and sulfur. Next we come to the first major base. Major mining base. It has 5 different mining products collected together, and it is a major source of wealth. If also a major complex collection network of pipes and wires, and it was a major repair job after the patch that messed up all the wiring to get it back to the state it's in now of collecting all these mining products. But it's almost a showcase of mining. The vault room is actually the central room for teleporter and all that. With the other room is the collection room with the depot collection for radon. 15,000 or 13,000, I mean, and 750, lots of radon. We also collect copper. We also collect cobalt. And oxygen. And dioxide. It is a cold planet. Cold mining planet. Typical, almost like a storybook setting. And that's why the supply depot tanks are indoors, because it's almost always storming out here. Not only does it collect 5 major elements, it also has a power station hotspot fairly nearby, I think, and then it sends the power out to all 5 mining spots and brings the components back to the collection depots and brings them into this room. It's not pretty, but it is effective, and it might be impressive to you, those of you who might have tried that yourself. Next is a purely decorative base called Nature Tours, where I was actually learning a little bit more about base building, and it's when the triangles came out mainly, I think, that inspired this particular base. Particularly, well, when the triangles came out, I added the lighthouse, and it's a lighthouse with spiral staircases and all that sort of stuff that lighthouses have in the context of a tourist trap nature tour vacation base. It started out with some very large dinosaur wildlife, but those particular animals went extinct on us. So things that the nature tours have is stuff like an underwater section. You can go diving through the moon pool, or oh, the door there is disappeared. I had it. Oh, there's the door. It was still spawning in. Okay. And this is where you get your scuba stuff all set up to go. Pretend. And we have a vault section with no doors. You have to enter and leave through a secure teleport. You can store your valuables while you're while you're vacationing. This then is the central area for the base. Teleports. We have a little gift shop here where you can order on Galactic Amazon, or just sell your souvenirs if you find a really rare one. We got inventory, and you can buy your own scuba gear here. We'll make a save. Now, this one takes you out on the island to, oh, that's not the right one. This one here then takes you out on the island, out beyond the, and this is where we have our feeding station for the nature lovers who want to see animals. We can load up this feeding station with, there's not much that comes here anymore, just the odd pineapple, and we got burrowers that don't even stop to eat. It's got a separate power supply on this stuff. Yeah, there's a pineapple that's typical of the fauna you see in this planet now. The dinosaurs, unfortunately, are extinct. I used to have a fancy viewing stand and everything here to see the dinosaurs, but I tore that down to reclaim a few parts for building elsewhere. Now, the other thing that is mainly a photo opportunity is the lighthouse. And we've got it's quite large for a lighthouse perhaps, but it seems not too excessive. And inside we have the spiral staircases, which take you to the roof with viewpoints along the way. That's the central area, the vaults and the landing pad. The lights at the top are solar powered with batteries, and they only come on at night. And of course they flash and blink. We have actually two staircases, a wide one and a narrow one, going opposite sides of the intertwined, a dual helix. Very symbolic, eh? We got someone else, some alien flying over. New settlement management decision available. Yeah. A little bit of nip-nip for the tourists that like that sort of holiday. Just tapping into the lighthouse power to light up the seed beds. The teleporter is only powered when you use it. So that's nature tours. Next is anomaly base with gold and separators. Don't need gold for very much in the game, so don't visit this base very often. It's a small base compared to most of the others. It's, you know, functioning mining base. Typical of several of my bases probably. But we gotta check it anyway, because we're checking everything, right? probably another candidate for reclaiming if I run out of part count again. It's on a separator planet, and it's got a trade terminal and a gold mine. So if we wanted, we could go find some separators to decorate other bases. So nothing much here, not even vaults here, just a power station and a mineral extraction. So that's anomaly 1 base. Look at that dairy. Different sort of farm, a dairy farm. Animal feeders and whatnot. It's probably still the best animal feeder base I have. Just put a little bit of feed in, and it should demonstrate quite effectively how these bases work. Fully developed base. So you got refiner, we got a save point, couch to relax. Oh yeah, there's a hidden bedroom in here. Up here we got a bedroom. So here's our refiners and food processors. And here we have our vaults and a little bit of carbon growing. With these things grow back all the time through the floor. So it's elevated a little bit to try and get away from them, but it wasn't enough. Now we put a little bit of food in. Yeah, put 12 food in and watch. See, there's some animals already gathering. They're all being fed by those 12 pellets, and they will continue to be fed for a while. Just a little bit of star bramble planted, and just gut rot plants to restock the animal poop that you need for occasional things. Yeah. So that's basically it. Over there is the landing pad. It's suspended out over. The name of the base is Look at That Dairies. It's a reference to a Larry Niven story about a a colony on a distant planet that was explored by a robot explorer and was deemed as suitable for colonization. When they got there, the area that was suitable for colonization was only a couple square miles on top of a very tall mountain. And so this base is on top of a tall mountain, just like the one in the distance, that actually it's fine for the rest of the planet is fine too, actually here, but I named it after that too, for being on top of a mountain. And the robot had landed on top of the mountain and not realized that it was a special case. So yeah, you see all the animals that have gathered here already. All those little green dots, they're all happily feeding on those 12 animal crackers and supplying not only wild milk. We got, just 6 so far, but eggs and fruit, leopard fruit, mostly leopard fruit it seems. So, so I called it a dairy.
Now free slots in suit inventory.
Just because. And you see here, we've still got, oh, there, finally the last food pellet got fed to the animals, just as we looked at it there. So 12 food pellets attracted all those animals, and we're still harvesting their products. It's quite profitable when you set it up right, and when you find a place where the animals are, on a migration route or a summer camp food feeding area or something like that, where you get lots of animals. And a variety of animals helps too. You don't want all just one product. So that's how you use the feeder and animal harvesting devices.
Now free slots in suit inventory.
See, most of the animals have wandered off now that the food has run out. I didn't do anything to do that, just because the food got used up. There's a few still lingering around, hoping for one last food or trapped against the machines. Nutrient processor here is useful for making more creature pellets. Move some of it out of the main inventory. Oh, my freighter isn't here. Okay. Want to save those peas. They're the best of the wild products, if you ask me. What happened there? So clean out the, no, there is no more harvesting going on since we ran out of food. These last tame guys that are kind of stuck, uh, don't produce anything. So we've got carbon and we have food pellets. Can go up to 200 food pellets in a cargo slot now, and under special circumstances you can put 200 food in the feeder, but normally it'll only take 100. It used to be 50. So that's this place. That's the. Look at that. So we've got here, Galactic Center 2 produces wax. Wax is my idiosyncratic name for paraffinium. Paraffin is just a fancy word for wax, right? So this is a wax mine. One of these mining bases that I hardly ever visit, of course, because you don't need wax for much in the game. It's esoteric product, and this is just a skeletal base, skeletal mining outpost. But we check in on it, make sure it's working right, and we'll probably do a round of visits after the patch to see if they're fouled up. So a refiner, I got some vaults up here with a landing pad. There's a crashed freighter over there and another landing pad. We got 2 levels of landing pads. This is a unexplored star system. It means the wildlife is kind of special. Freighter, well, we could put some of those in there. So, and it's mined out there at that tower, has the mining equipment all stacked in there, and power supplies run out there, and the pipeline runs back. So that's just another outpost. I put the decal 44 up for my number in a lot of my bases. So that was the wax base. We got new nav data and storm crystals here. So this isn't really so much a farm or a mining base. It's a natural resource base, I guess. Just happens to have a nice large patch of the red floating cubes that give you navigation data. Back when I needed navigation data. Once again, rarely visited base. but when you need it bad. An outdoor base. It doesn't even have a room around it. And here's the storm crystals, right, right handy. Uh, and yeah, the red cubes here are the navigation data. Get a fair bit of that from these things. Nice large patch. A little bit stormy, but we can survive a storm. I got the trade terminal here, and so that's the storm crystals and nav data. Big base. This is just a catch-all base. Has some farming, a little bit of mining, a little bit of decoration. A little bit of humor. Started out as another minor settlement base extension. It's kind of nice to start out with a minor settlement and build your base beside it, because it has a built-in trade terminal and built-in landing pad over at the minor base, and someone to go talk to when you're lonely. A little alien there that lives in this base. Class C weapon, landing pad. Our freighter comes in and it doesn't use the landing pad, of course, our hauler, but the reason I call it a big base is just because it has a fair bit of junk that I've added to it over the years. Now, we've got animal feeders here. They're not too effective on this one. I don't know why it would have 2 feeders and 1 collector. I think it was built back when, before creature pellets, different animals used to use different bait, and you had to supply bait for all the different types of animals you wanted to attract. So we get nitrogen gas here, just a half a stack of it. I've got a couple of greenhouses here. Greenhouse that's overgrown with some native grasses as well, but it doesn't seem to affect the productivity, so let them grow. We got a stack of things going on here. In the vault room, those are like guards for the vault. And in here we just have some decorative statue display. We have our little goldfish bowl, fish bowl, and a few crops. Still sort of learning how to set up a farm with this base. It still involves a fair bit of running around compared to the little blobby pet. A fair bit of running around compared to how much you harvest. So that's the, the other thing here is we've got some wiring going on. This is the humor I mentioned. If you come to this base from the front door, it's a little Indiana Jones. I think it just auto repeats because there's proximity detectors under the stairs that trigger the ball, and the door protects you coming out, but coming in you have to dodge those giant balls. So I thought that was funny anyway. Okay, so that was the big base. Activated indium and nitrogen. This is my attempt at a money-making base. Found an activated indium planet, and it also happens to produce extra nitrogen. The warping effects are slightly glitched there. I don't know if that's a PS4 artifact or if other platforms see those artifacts too. We need a warping song, you know? Warping through the universe. I got a landing pad with activated indium. 9,000 activated indium. Small compared to some people's, but significant to me. We'll put that there. And we got this one here. Nitrogen. 13,000. So that's basically all. The vaults are across the landing pad with their own power proximity. They don't use any power if you're not here. This ship was specially designed so you could walk under the wings. So let's unload some of our stuff here. First we'll make a fresh save in case I screw it up. Now I want to go to the freighter and they'll sell 17,000 nitrogen, 337,000 credits.
Unit
Radon, 265,000, 17,000 milk, 224 nip buds. Save the jade peas. Sell that. Sulfurine, 177,000. Oxygen, 302. Fungal mold. Sell it. Cactus, sell it. Star bulb, sell it. Cadmium, 841,000. That's almost a million. Ferrite, 640. Copper, 834. Gold, we got 1,000,008. Duxite, 560. Mushrooms, 12,000. Just 4 mushrooms. That was from one of the farms. Cobalt, 1.3 million. And frost crystal, 3,000. Leopard fruit, 187,000 credits of leopard fruit from the Mount Look at That farm. Tall legs, 38. And activated indium, 7.9 million. See, it's a significant base. Not that I actually need it. 4 billion in credits. So send this to a freighter as well. Send this to the... You hear the old mining machinery digging up more activated indium already. It's a noisy base. The mining machines are right outside the door here. Okay, let's sell some of that too. Sell that, 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 that. Nav data, 11 of them. Fecium, $109,000 of poop. Or credits, yeah, not dollars. That would be a lot of poop. Now, make another save. Let's just put that on there. So, that was our... I'll show you the mines. It's not really that large a mine. It's just that it is activated indium. You see, there's some storage, and there's the mining machinery all right there on the hotspot. That's all you need. The storage bins are more significant. And then I put them here for convenient collection right outside the door. So that's that whole base. And if that one's not working, it's one of the first ones I would fix up again, right? Toxic Bungalow is a major base for me. This is a quite large base, near the limit of rendering capability on the PS4, in my opinion. Lots of other people build well beyond this limit, but it it generates then rendering problems when you get much bigger than this. Uh, this is primarily farming again, growing plants in domes. It's a toxic planet with, you know, toxic storms, but you don't have to go outside very much anymore. It's built up enough. So it has stuff like a couple food processors, a couple cots in case you get sleepy while you're here, a teleporter, refiner. The landing pad is out here with an actual waiting room for the landing pad. That takes you to another part of the base that's not important. And we got here some mushrooms growing outdoors along the path that you can harvest. It's time consuming to harvest them though. It's much more convenient. Go through the vault room. Down here is the growing rooms or domes. We've got primarily cactus there, primarily selenium. Whatever, I think that's what you call it. Here's some starbulb. Here's some daffodils, the gamma roots. Here we've got more cactus. Over here we have pearls. Some nip-nip. More cactus. More selenia. And some, whatchamacallit. Sac venom. Not really sure what that's good for, but I grew a room full of it anyway. We have some frost crystals, some gravitino balls. Not quite sure why I need those either. Growing a little bit of mordite there, and a little bit of physium. More cactus. Heck. This arrangement of sort of zigzag domes, you can sort of see here that it's zigzagged in a pattern. I thought it might be optimal, but hey, Moose, I thought it might be optimal at the time, but I refined my farming techniques later to not include that particular aspect. So this is still my largest farm though anyway. I still hadn't learned the lesson that space area room to grow is pretty cheap, but parts are expensive, and that's all the farm then. So we've got a full set of plants, as well as a full set of these sorts of plants. And we've got the shortcut back to the teleporter. we've got a couple other little aspects of this. We can teleport here. Uh, to the power station. It's not quite rendered yet. There we go. Power station has power for the farm. And teleporters that tend to teleport you back to where you came from. Okay, that's where I want to be now. And yeah, it has to render back in this part of the base now. And there's one other little part. This is a different room. It's not quite rendered yet. The wiring hasn't rendered in. Won't let you out until it does. So there we go. And here it's a little cave built under cover of the cave for no special reason, and a trade terminal where you could, you know, do ship shopping or meeting aliens, whatever you want to do. Just a little trade terminal in there as well. And back to the farm. Okay, that's the waiting room. No couches in there yet. There's the couches in the waiting room for the landing pad. So yeah, I'm just doing a base tour prior to the patch so that I can say it worked yesterday in case I screw something up. So that was Toxic Bungalow. It's called a bungalow because it's all on one level, basically. Burnt Station, Solarium, and Sulfurium. Those names are not correct. I can spell things however I want because my name is Typo. Smiley face. Yep. Okay, this is a another one of my architectural trends. The
Extreme temperature detected.
wooden base that one-story wooden bases aren't quite tall enough to fit the teleporter in comfortably. Tends to cut the top off, so I built them up a little bit with spacers. This is the mainly the sulfurium gas supply for my game. It gives me 10,000 whenever, you know, every day or so. And I can come here to collect selenium, growing wild in a little patch out there, and there's a couple other nearby patches. We don't need to do that today. It's mainly just a comfortable base building exercise. So that's the, yeah, so next is runway. This is mainly a decorative base. I believe Typo makes typos because he is Typo. Exactly. I think I've showed you the runway base before there, Moose, but we'll run through it again for any other viewers that happen to stumble across this record. Get everything in one place. So this is basically the workroom. We've got you know, the teleporter. We got a save. I wonder what's going to happen to the save points tomorrow, because they're changing saving around, aren't they? Previous base item cache. We got a refiner and a little refiner, some decoration, a teleport and a food processor, decoration, teleporter. This is kind of a joke teleporter. This teleporter is connected to that teleporter. It teleports you about 10 feet. And there's the wire hider in here too. There used to be something at that door, but apparently there isn't anymore. Yeah, I did away with that. So it's basically a teleporter to the wire hider. This one just takes us down to, going to be odd, like how is reloads for multi-tools, yeah, going to work now. Multi-tools and ship shopping and all that sort of stuff is all based on reloads. It may have to change. In here, it's basically just below the utility room that was upstairs. This is our power supply for this base. It's way overpowered for this base. We are using 573 kilopowers and producing 3,000 kilopowers. So yeah, I overpowered this base. To make up for it, I started mining some oxygen. And I think there's something else. That's all oxygen. This is cobalt. A little bit of cobalt here, 6,000. And we got another teleport back to another corner. There's kind of redundant teleporters. This one takes us out to oh, I double clicked. There we go. To our architecturally experimental building, where we're using squares and triangles, and we never put two squares directly touching except at the corners. We never put a square side by side with a square. So I colored all the squares dark color and triangles a lighter color, so you could see that I stuck to that design paradigm. I put a little sort of standing room only lecture theater in here. You can do demonstrations or give a speech. Over here, there's some laboratory equipment that you can use for giving demonstrations. And we have, there's where we came in. There's another exit here through this door down to the surface. And we got a garden here, just a random plant garden, a random wandering creature. And it's all balanced on these legs that are I tend to put legs on things so that they don't float. They would float perfectly happy, but I put the legs on things anyway. So back at our area, this is a sort of a viewpoint. That's the building we just explored there. It's got an apron around it as well. So you can sit there and relax and enjoy the view. This is a calcus room, glitch planet actually. We got some calcus rooms up there. You can run around and collect the decorative calcus rooms. I put other decoration. This is the calcus room, right? Calcus room. Here is the actual runway that is reason the base is called runway. It's got the flashing runway lights with a couple statues flanking the entrance, welcoming any ship that might land here. Now, contrary to my recent statement about putting legs on the building, there's no legs on the runway. It's just hanging out there over open space. Mainly so I could show people the wiring to make those lights flash. Blue and red wires up there. That was fun. So we've got some trees growing under the buildings, and that's the power station and the workshop. Yeah, if this is still working the same after tomorrow, then that'll be a win. And stuff like these doors need to still work with the proximity switches and whatnot as well. I was very into the proximity switch doors at the time I was building this. Another waiting room for the landing pad. We got an overgrown plant here on the landing pad, but there's our ship. We got some exocraft out there on the mountainside. I'm doing fine. In case I want to explore with them. A few little plants for decoration in this base. Something I don't always bother with. So that was runway. The hexagon is next. See the hexagon in the middle? The big triangle around the hexagon? Yeah, if you're hunting for multi-tools or ships, I guess you're actually going to have to hunt for them instead of just reloading. Uh, I always considered the reloads for that purpose as a bit of a cheat, a shortcut, however you want to word it. And I think Hello Games had the same attitude if they've changed it. So this is a hexagon. You arrive right in the main part of the central building of the hexagon. We've got 6 doors that open individually as you explore. We've got 6 different corridors out to landing pads, such that all 9 landing pads are used for the base. And I got a private little room there for sleeping in. If you go through a teleporter, you get a trade station with more landing pads. And there's the base landing pads up there now. So you could have a very large party come in here and lots of places for your ships to land. You go to the other teleporter and you're back in the hexagon in a different part of it. This is the corridors. Some people recognize that these are just corridors without power. I didn't bother to power them. They didn't do anything. Power to the landing pad, or corridors to the landing pads, like so. Little observation bubble is the only one I built here. I don't know why. It's currently a corrupted planet. I don't think it was corrupted when I first built here. The corruption came later. But I figure red corridors are just fine. So that's the bottom part of the hexagon, actually. To get to the top, you go through the main trade station, back up to the top. So, you know, for going up one level, you go out 1,000 yards and then back 1,000 yards. Well, it's not 1,000 yards, it's like 200, but you get the idea. But yeah, my old hauler fits quite nicely on these landing pads, doesn't it? Old style landing pads, because of course when I built this, the new ones weren't in existence as yet. So that's the hexagon. Might be useful someday for, you know, user meeting or something. So that was base number 12 already. Light fissures. I think this is the one that has a special feature. When you arrive via the teleporter, it gives you a special little presentation, carefully designed. I hope it works. hope it works today, let alone tomorrow. Almost there. Here we go. No, this isn't it. Sorry, build up for nothing. Um, so this is a very small base once again. I think it's just for collecting uh, light fissures. I tried to build a base on every one of the decorative glitch planets. So we've got a teleporter there, we've got a trade terminal there, and a refiner there. And that's about all we have here. Oh, a little landing pad on a scaffold. Actually has stairs up to it. Been a while since I've been here. Okay, so that was 13 light fissures. Eisen Cobalt Enterprises. One of my first corporate bases. Actually, Enterprises signifies that it is incorporated, a registered company with the Discovery server. Not really. More artifacts. I maybe need to do a reload for the PS4 memory management before it crashes on me. Hopefully I'll survive this teleport. Yeah, after tomorrow we'll actually have to quit the game to do a bug fix reload, I suspect. So this is largely a decorative room, at least. We've got, I thought this was a nice view for a window, and so I put a couch here and everything. And yeah, maybe have to actually exit the game right out to the operating system in order to do a prophylactic reload. But I think that's a nice view and a pretty planet. Even if the grass isn't very green, it's autumn colors. Red leaves and brown grass is an autumn planet. Nice blue sky with fluffy clouds. Aliens flying over. So up here we got our vaults. A slightly different arrangement of vaults and a trade terminal. Save point. Save point. We crashed. Oh dear.